Alrighty, everybody, I am here. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, I was in the restroom. I was in the restroom when nature calls, but better to get that out of the way now than in the middle of the pre-stream, right? So, everybody, welcome. Welcome. How's everyone doing today? Happy Friday. Today is Friday, the 7th of August, 2020. There's a lot to talk about today in regards to what we're doing, in regards to some new game announcements. Some interesting stuff. What happened last night on stream, obviously we want to talk a little bit about. Okay. So let's talk. First of all, so today is Friday, and today I wanted to do something different. All right, the big game release this week that everyone is talking about is the viral sensation Fall Guys, a game made by an indie game studio that got mainstream attention when a few major streamers picked it up, getting the beta key for it. And then it was announced it's the free for PS Plus game this month, which is crazy because the last time something like this happened, a brand new game hitting free for PS Plus subscribers, if you remember a few years back, we had Rocket League, right? Now, Rocket League ended up becoming insanely popular because it was the free for PS Plus game that summer, and ended up becoming a mainstream game for many streamers. The game made a ridiculous amount of money. So interesting to say the least that there's another game kind of standing in that position. Now, I purposely stayed away from this game this week. All right, on purpose. Like, I knew that when you have a game like this, that if you're going to have it as a PS Plus game, typically you're going to have issues, okay? And what I mean by that is, even though they, quite frankly, should have been ready, all right? They should have been ready for this giant amount of popularity that they were going to get. I was skeptical because it's an indie studio. And when you have a smaller studio like this, you tend to wonder what's going to happen. You tend to wonder, what on earth is going to happen with... Sorry, I'm just looking at an email. It's bothering me. Okay, I can delete this now. You tend to wonder what's going to happen. Will they be able to handle the capacity, right? The capacity of what's going on. And the answer is... no, probably not. The answer is probably they will not be able to handle the capacity of the amount of people that want to flood into a game like this and check it out. Being honest, they probably can't do it. Okay? And obviously that's an issue. So all week, the game has been having connection errors. The game has been having dropped servers. And I said, man, I'm going to still hold off and wait to play this until the weekend. Because maybe by then they'll have figured out, you figure 3-4 days... that should be enough for a game company to figure this shit out. And they didn't. Apparently, from what I'm understanding, the game is still having tons of issues. The game is still having lots of dropped stuff constantly. To the point where, it's very frustrating. Because, obviously, it's a game everyone wants to play. It's free for PS Plus. It's a game that big streamers were able to play about a week ago. And now everyone wants to jump in and have fun, and apparently the game just doesn't work, okay? Now, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to give it a shot. Some people are telling me it doesn't work at all. Some people are telling me it works and then doesn't. I want to at least try it, all right? But here's the thing, and I got to emphasize this. If this game doesn't work within about a week, that is the end of Fall Guys. Because the way that this works is very simple. People will be willing to give it a shot if it's free. But if it doesn't work, first impressions, right? First impressions. And it doesn't matter if this starts working in 2 more weeks and it works great. If people try to play it now and they can't play it, they're just not going to come back to it. There's a lot going on with gaming right now. This is one of the busiest summers of gaming ever. There's a lot other stuff to do in the realm of gaming than play a game that's, a freebie game that no one heard of as of a week ago. So I'm honestly concerned because I heard good things about the game. I actually heard that the game is quite fun and the game is interesting. But if the game is unplayable, what are you going to do? And here's the difference. You know, Rocket League, absolutely, Rocket League did have issues at launch. But not like this. Like, Rocket League had server issues on and off, but for the most part, it was stable, and people were able to jump in and enjoy and play the game. And it ended up being the hit, the surprise hit of that summer, like 3-4 years ago. This is going to be a humongous missed opportunity. If Fall Guys doesn't work within like a week, this is going to be like the giant missed opportunity for this company. And man, are they going to be shooting themselves in the foot over this. Like, they're not going to get over it, you know. That's right. Hobo Chili Dog said it's fun, interesting, and unplayable game. It's bad combination, right? So anyway, we're going to see what happens today. I'm going to try it. If it doesn't work, well, you know, what do you do? I mean, we could do a few things. We could just go right over and play Ghost of Tsushima instead and do a full stream of Ghost of Tsushima, which I'd be okay with. We are at the end of Act 2. So we'd essentially be finishing up Act 2 and heading into Act 3 today. Or we could switch over to Destroy All Humans and just do the final boss fight, which will probably take me about a half an hour to an hour. And then switch back and see if Fall Guys works again. See, my concern is switching so much stuff around is just going to screw everything up on the streams. And now no one's going to know what's being played. It's going to be hard to retain viewership if I'm switching a million times, you see? What I'm thinking is I want to kind of stay with my plan to finish Destroy All Humans tomorrow and try Fall Guys tomorrow as well. So let's see what happens. But I think today what we'll do, we'll try Fall Guys. If it doesn't work, then maybe just switch over to Ghost of Tsushima and just do a Ghost of Tsushima stream. What are you going to do, right? Again, I apologize in advance if it doesn't work, guys. I want to play the game. I've been waiting all week. Again, I purposely held off from playing the game this week because I wanted to see what was going to happen, you know, in regards to everything going on. And I was hoping the server issues would be resolved by the weekend, but it just seems like they're getting worse. Okay? Fair enough? All right. So hopefully, we'll get to play Fall Guys today. If not, it's Ghost of Tsushima, and we'll just go from there. Okay? Later tonight, Street Fighter. My weekly throwback Street Fighter session, late night stream. I hope you guys will join me for that. It's always fun. Tomorrow, we're going to finish up Destroy All Humans, and then if Fall Guys works, we're going to play that. If not, I guess we're doing Ghost of Tsushima. Tomorrow night, it's going to be the continuation of Fire Emblem Three Houses, which really picked up the other day, and I'm excited to play more of it. Sunday, it's going to be more Ghost of Tsushima, and the night stream that day will be Animal Crossing. Why Animal Crossing on a Sunday night? Because every Sunday night from August, they're actually going to be doing a fun, very interesting fireworks display, which I got to see last week because my wife was playing it that night. So I want to do it in-game on a stream to show you guys what it is. It's pretty neat. It's got special music, fireworks, and everything going on. It's really fun. Okay? Then on Monday, we're starting up Nier Automata. All right? Monday is the big day when we're starting up the playthrough. I'm still not sure if we're going to be doing a full run from the beginning or if we're starting with the B-side playthrough because I have to see if I can get the game save. I haven't had a chance to work on that yet. Maybe I'll, over the weekend, have a chance to see. All right? But we'll have to see what happens. But it's starting on Monday. All right? And then Monday night is going to be more Paper Mario and the Origami King. And that's the streaming week. Okay? Now, guys, we got to talk a little bit about last night. I want to talk and let you guys know what happened because I know many of you were not here last night. And you have no idea what happened and how damn close we came to the end of the Vest streak, ladies and gentlemen. So last night I was playing Paper Mario the Origami King. And I was doing my typical 2-hour stream. And we were approaching probably about half an hour to 20 minutes before the end of the stream. And I announced, you know, guys, we've raised about $30 of the tips goal, which is perfectly fine. You know, if this is the end of the Vest streak. Now, typically I do this. I give everyone a heads up. And usually by the end of the stream, we get a few generous parties who come in. And we hit the Vest streak. Okay? This has happened literally every time that we had a late night stream with a slower attendance. And someone would come in and say, okay, I want it to continue. And boom, it would continue. Alright? So, we basically approached 9:15, which is roughly the time when I finished my stream. And I was stuck inside of a mini dungeon challenge where you had to find Luigi and get a key in order to progress on with this area we were in. And I said, all right, guys, well, I'll finish this section up because I'm in the middle of it. I'll finish this up, and I'll try to find a logical stopping point that makes sense, and that'll be the end of the stream. They'll give people a few extra minutes if they do want to contribute or whatever. But at that point, I kind of announced, you know, it looks like this is the end of the vest streak because we were $70 away from hitting the tips goal for the night. Okay, and I'm like, damn, with like 10 minutes left, right? So, what I did is I walked around. I finished up. It was like a ninja challenge area. I finished that up. I got the key I needed, and then there were 2 optional doors to open. I opened the optional door, solved a few puzzles, got a few items. All right, and you know, basically everything was fine. And I was like, all right, I guess this is going to be the end, right? But I was getting near the end. All of a sudden, people start freaking out. All right, first of all, there's people freaking out because the streak is going to end, which admittedly, that's a big thing. 4.5 months, this streak has continued. 223 straight streams at that point that we had hit the tips goal. And people are freaking out. They're like, oh my God, it's going to end. That's it. Can't believe it. Then you got assholes, of course, who are coming in saying, oh, you see, Phil's staying late tonight because he's delaying. He's trying to delay the stream he's hoping a whale will come and drop money and stuff. And I'm like, it just so happens that last night's night my wife was at work. I had to shower before she got home, but outside of that, I had the ability to stay late if I felt like it. Some nights are like that, some nights aren't. Some nights I actually have stuff to do around here, and other nights I have more free time. Last night I actually had about an extra hour of free time, okay? So people are going crazy and basically being very nasty and toxic and be like, oh, I see. So the vest streak would have ended, but now Phil he can delay and he can slack off and he can basically extend the stream because we didn't hit it. And it's like, first of all, I don't know how that's a negative, right? How is that a negative that I can stay later and play more games for you guys and hang out with you longer? People always ask me to stay later. But it's funny that the night when it looks like we're not going to hit the tips goal, right? That's the night if I stay later, somehow it's a negative. Right? Wait, what the hell? Talk about, you say reverse psychology. Talk about reverse psychology there. People constantly complaining they want more, and then when I give them more, they complain, how dare you stick around, right? So anyway, I continued to play, and I said, I'll keep playing for a little bit longer until I get to a logical stopping point, which was good for me. It was going to be going inside this big temple where I thought was the boss of the area, okay? So I played for about an extra 15 minutes. And as I'm playing, now all of a sudden, now we're way past 9:15. At this point, it's almost 9:30. All right, so normally I would have ended my stream. People start coming in and like, oh my God, I can't believe that we didn't hit it. Here we go. So someone dropped a $20 tip, and then there were a few like $5 tips. And then 2 very generous people, each did like a $30 tip. And then we went over the tips goal. All right? And then I said, well, wow, guys, I appreciate you guys rallying. It's a good thing I stayed late because now we hit the tips goal. And basically what I will do as a reward, since you guys were so nice tonight, now I will stick around and we will do the whole boss of the area, which I thought was right away. It wasn't. We went inside this big like pagoda, and it ends up being a 4-stage story elaboration thing before you get to the boss. And then the boss was tough, so I ended up sticking around like an extra hour on top of the already extended stream in order to finish up this area, okay? Oh, excuse me. So, I decided to stick around because you guys were being so nice to me, and I played for a whole extra hour. Now, it just so happens that while I stick around, a lot of other people were very grateful and came in and contributed even more. So we almost, by the end of the night, we had almost doubled the tip skull. Okay? So, in reality, by the end of the night, it was a good stream, good session. People who liked the game got way extra gameplay. I actually enjoyed the boss fight. Got to stick around to do it. Obviously, this vest streak continued. Everything was good. Of course, you're going to have assholes who are always going to say negative shit about positive. It's like, so let's see. It was a positive thing that happened, right? That I was able to stick around later. People supported and were happy that I did. You got extra gameplay, all positives, but of course people got to spin it negative. Haha, see, the vest streak almost ended. In fact, the vest streak did end, but Phil stayed later, so he cheated. He violated his own rules, and now the vest streak doesn't continue. It's like, you're an idiot. And I don't care about what dumb shits like that say at all. You're out of your mind. First of all, who the fuck makes these rules up? Who made a rule that I can never go later on a stream? It was funny because someone made a comment last night on the stream. They were like, technically, Phil, if you never go offline, the vest streak can never end. I was like, you know, that's actually correct. Like, if I never turn my stream off, then the vest streak can't end because there's infinite amount of time. Of course, that's never going to happen. I have to go offline. And like I told everyone last night, I really went down to the wire. Like, I finished around 10:30 p.m. I rushed. I took a shower, got dressed, and got everything uploaded, got the schedule done, ran downstairs, and my wife walked in the door. And she's like, whoa. I was like, yeah, I know. Like, I just got done. It's like just in time. But it works out sometimes, you know. So it was a very good thing. But, what I have to say is this, all right? Yeah, we can't do this every day. All right, we can't, sadly. As much as I'd love to stay late every single day when I stream and do an extra hour to an hour and a half of gameplay, I just can't do it. Some days I'll have more flexibility if I don't have much to do that night, or if my wife is at work like she was last night, then obviously I can stay a little bit later if I feel like it. Some nights I'm just going to be too tired to do it. Some nights I'm going to have stuff to do. All right, I can't do it every night. So the point I'm trying to make is, sadly, that could have been the end of the vest streak for sure. Like, that was the closest we've ever come. I thought it was ending. You know, realistically, I thought that was the end of it, right? So, you know, it is what it is. I thought that was the end. Luckily, it wasn't, all right? But I'm just saying, I'm trying to give a heads up. You know, be aware that late streams, sometimes this can happen. And it was funny because a few people had popped in. I'd say probably about 10-15 minutes after the stream normally would have ended, okay? And then they contributed and were like, oh, I just noticed the stream is still going. You didn't hit the tips goal. Here, I'll help. What I'll say is this. If you want to see the vest streak continue, even if you're not able to attend the late stream, but you want to support, you might want to pop in. You know what I'm saying? Like, pop in around 9:10, 9:15, see what's going on. Because this could happen again very much, especially with some of the games I'm playing right now. Let's be honest. Fire Emblem, Paper Mario, there's a reason why these are late night chill streams. These are not going to bring in mainstream attendance and mainstream viewers. I enjoy the fact that because I'm a variety streamer, I get to play these kind of games that don't get a lot of attention on my streams. I'm okay with that, you see? But we got to see what happens in regards to, you know, hitting the tip skull. And this isn't the first time this happened. This is another time about a month ago. We were very close, same exact situation. And this, by far, if it weren't for me going later, it was over. So I'm just saying, if you're not even here for the late streams, but you want to support the streams, you want to have the vest streak continue, you might want to pop in that time every night just to see how stuff's going. Okay? And it would have been unfortunate, because I guarantee you what would have happened. Let's say last night, I had to leave at 9:15 no matter what. Okay? I would have left, the vest streak would have ended, and you probably would have had a large group of people who were very upset, saying, man, that really sucks. That was a big positive thing that happened for months and months, and I didn't know that this was happening, and if I had known, I would have been here to support. See? And that's what I mean, like, sadly, I don't think every night we're going to have someone who's going to kind of, you know, toss a Hail Mary and save the late stream if it's a slow stream. So, I'm just saying, what we may have to do is from now on, if you support the vest streak, you want to see it continue, just stop in at night and see what's going on, right? Even if you don't like the game. I don't like Paper Mario, but I want the vest streak to continue. I'll come by around 9 o'clock and see how it's going. And, you know, contribute if I want to. And by the way, again, I'm not saying that anyone has to contribute whatsoever. There's no pressure here. You guys contribute what you want. But what I saw last night is actively there were people who wanted the vest streak to continue, weren't aware of what was going on, and it would have ended if I didn't stay late, and that would have been really unfortunate if I couldn't have, okay? So, let's see what happens moving forward. Like tonight, okay, Street Fighter. I don't know what's going to happen tonight. Some weeks when I play Street Fighter, it goes really well. People love the content, they tip, they talk with me about Street Fighter constantly, and no issue. And then other weeks, it's like super duper slow. So I don't know what's going to happen tonight playing Street Fighter. It could go either way. All right? Moving forward this weekend, you know, Like, so like Eternal Napalm just said, if the best streak will end, it'll end during Fire Emblem. See, I don't know about that. And the reason I say that, I think that there are people who really like the Fire Emblem playthrough. They're very happy I'm playing the game because I missed out on it last year. They really wanted it. I mean, that's why it was a viewer's choice pick from earlier this year. And I think there are people who watch it and then they wait. And if I'm not hitting the goal, then they contribute last minute because they definitely want to see it hit. Versus Paper Mario, it was not viewer's choice. It's a new release, that's why I'm playing it, but sadly it's not getting much of a following. I actually really like the game, but I guess a lot of people are kind of hating on it, saying it's not as good as previous Paper Mario games, which I wouldn't know because I never played them, so I have no frame of reference to compare the current Paper Mario to the past one and say, oh, it's not as good, so I don't like it. You see what I mean? So, since there's no real force of desire of a group of people to see Paper Mario, I think that's why we got so close last night to the Vestreak ending. All right. Now, I don't know. Like, no one is pressured to ever contribute. Never. All right. And I don't want you to feel like just because I'm talking about what happened last night that this is pressure. It's not. You know. But I know there's people out there that want it to continue, and I'm just trying to spread awareness of what's going on right now because we came really damn close. Okay. And we already talked about it. It's about in just over 2 weeks' time. If we continue on with this Vest streak, will be the 250 Vest celebration. And I've been talking with you guys about what you might want to see during that celebration. Some people said multiplayer gameplay. I'm like, okay, but what multiplayer? Because there's really no fun multiplayer games out right now. And now I just realized we're playing Fall Guys. So maybe if Fall Guys works, we could do some Fall Guys during that event, right? We'll do a live DSP tries it as usual, some Q&A, you know. You know, the other thing is, right now, there's a lot of stuff with this Vest streak that's been invested into the streams. We've got multiple emotes, right? Like tons of emotes that have been created that you guys like to use on a daily basis as a part of the Vest streak event. I've got 5 vests. I bought a friggin' coat rack to hang these vests up. So, if, let's say, last night the Vest streak ended, I'm curious as what you guys would have wanted to do. Like, would it have been, all right, well, the Vest streak's over. That's it. That's the end of that gimmick. That train has ridden, or that train has left the station, and now we move on to something else, right? Like, or would it be like, let's just reboot it, right? Let's reboot the Vest streak and start over at 0. You know, I don't know what you guys would have wanted to do, but we would have had to figure that out for today's streams, okay? So, I'm curious, what would you guys want if that were to happen, right? And no, we're not starting a Speedo streak, Hobo X10, because number 1, I don't want to get banned from Twitch, and number 2, people need to retain their eyesight. If everyone went blind watching my streams, I don't think that would be a very good idea. I might be legally liable for that, okay? Okay. Alrighty then. So, that's really all I have to say about it. Okay? That's all I have to say about it. That's what happened last night. Just trying to spread awareness. That was almost the end of a 4.5-month odyssey. And I don't want to see it end, but if it does end today, that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay for it to end, but I know there would be upset people if it did. Okay? So, alright. Let's continue on. Before we get to talking about everything going on with your shout-outs and some discussion, there's one piece of gaming information that came out this morning that I'd like to talk about. Rocksteady, the studio that made the Batman Arkham trilogy and has not done anything since, is apparently working on a Suicide Squad video game. And one of the major things that people are assuming is that you're going to be trying to hunt down and kill Superman in the game, because the artwork they released is Superman standing around with a target on his head that says Suicide Squad. Okay, so this was just announced today, and apparently we're going to get more information because there's a DC event later this month that in relation to gaming and stuff, and we're expecting to get more information then. Now, what people are saying is it may be years away, because apparently there was another Suicide Squad game being made back in 2016 by WB Montreal. Now, if you're not aware, WB Montreal is the company that made Batman Arkham Origins, I believe. And that was not part of the mainstream Arkham trilogy. It was a spin-off game made by a different studio that had a different feel to it. I didn't really like it. All right? I thought Arkham Origins was way inferior to the Rocksteady trilogy. And it really did feel like a spin-off game that just stole a lot of assets and wasn't very good, in my opinion. Okay? Some people really liked it. I didn't like it that much, okay? So, for me, that's interesting news. They had the spin-off studio making the Suicide Squad game, and for some reason it got canned. Now, why did it get canned? Did it get canned because the game sucked? They were making a game that was terrible, and they said, nah, screw it? Or was it because the movie tanked? If you remember, initially, they thought Suicide Squad, the movie, was going to be a giant hit. They were expecting this movie to be a blockbuster monster that was going to be like unparalleled profits, and it was really going to bring the DC film universe into the mainstream. But if you remember, in 1 year's time, you had Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, as well as Suicide Squad, right? That underperformed. By the way, that doesn't mean they didn't make a lot of money. They did, surprisingly enough, but they underperformed per what DC had expected, or what the movie studio had expected, which is why, after Justice League came out and tanked as well, compared to what they wanted, that was the end of it. They stopped making those movies, you know. And it's funny because they just did Birds of Prey, and Birds of Prey also underperformed. So the word is that basically all these DC movies now are shit can, and they are going to work on more, but they're not going to be in line with the ones that they've been making, and maybe they're going to reboot it. It's all these rumors, okay? Rumors. But anyway, it is interesting they were making a Suicide Squad game that almost sounds like they were going to try to tie it in to the release of the movie, maybe like a year or two after the release of the movie, and then they crapped it out of there. I wonder why. Okay? Anyway, now that Rocksteady's working on it, see, I have mixed feelings about this. Here's my mixed feelings. Rocksteady's great. Rocksteady, all three of the Batman Arkham games were insane. They were all so good. They were just like jaw-droppingly good. Okay? And that's exactly what I wanted from a Batman game all these years, when they finally started putting out these insanely quality Batman games. The graphics and everything, so good. The characters, you know, true to their form of their DC Comics counterparts. Like, everything was great about those games. I loved them. Okay? But it's Suicide Squad. So when you think about that, I mean, what is it going to be? I think what it's going to be is like an ensemble game where some characters have like guns, others are like melee combat, and then you may have like gameplay that's nothing like any of that, like weird stuff. It all depends on who they put, because the Suicide Squad has had various characters in it over the years of DC Comics doing plot lines on it. So I guess we're going to see what happens. And, you know, if we get more information about the game. For me, though, here's the thing. I'm not as excited about the Suicide Squad game as I would have been if, say, this was a Justice League game. And here's why. Number one, the people in the Suicide Squad are nowhere near as iconic as the Justice League. I would have loved to play a game as the Flash and the Green Lantern and, you know, all the characters from the classic Justice League. I would have really liked to play more so than these fucking B characters from the Suicide Squad. All right. Now, in addition to that, the other thing that is kind of shitty to me is you know that unless they are going to go a really wild route here and say the plot of the Suicide Squad game is not in line with anything mainstream with DC, there is zero chance that the Suicide Squad are killing anyone from the DC universe. Like, they're not going to kill Superman in the Suicide Squad game. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how much they try. It's just going to be you shoot the fuck out of him, you beat him up, and he gets hurt, and then he wins anyway or he gets away. You see? And that, to me, is kind of why I'm like, nah. It feels like a spin-off game more than an interesting mainstream game to me. I would rather be the Justice League guys and beat the shit out of the villains and have all these crazy villains from the DC universe show up in this kind of what-if scenario. You know, you got Metallo and Lex Luthor and fucking Darkseid, but you can also have a rogues gallery from Flash and Wonder Woman. All these characters who could show up. And that would be a really awesome game, in my opinion. Versus Suicide Squad, it's going to be, we're hunting down the Justice League and no one ever dies. You see? So, I don't know how I feel about this at all. I hope it's good. I would think no matter what, the gameplay will be good and the production values will be good, because we know Rocksteady does an outstanding job on the games that they put out. But will it be as good as if they had gone more expected route of like a Justice League game? I don't know. So, I don't know how this is going to go. In my opinion, this could be very, very... It's like they're putting all their eggs in the basket. You know what I mean? Like, there has not been a major DC game in a long time. And now it's like, this is it, Suicide Squad. It's like, that's great, but I don't know if you want to put all your faith behind Suicide Squad. It could be the characters tank the game. You see what I'm saying? It might not be that the game isn't good. It could be that no one cares about these fucking characters in the Suicide Squad. I don't care about Killer Croc and whatever the fuck his name is. What's the name of the guy? Will Smith's character? Deadshot or fucking Deadpool or Deathstroke or guy who shoots things. They're all, you know what I mean? Like, they're not selling me. That's the thing. The movie didn't even go great. So if the movie didn't go great, why are you making a game? You see, like, fuck it. Don't make the Suicide Squad game. Make it the Justice League game. So I don't know. That's just my take on it, and I could be completely wrong. It could end up being a great game if this game has a lot of varied combat. Like, Deadshot is all about going around sniping people, gunplay, right? But then you've got Killer Croc, and he's about melee combat and sneaking around stealth and then jumping out and attacking big groups of enemies. But then you've got a magic user who kind of like phases through walls and uses these different things. It could be a pretty interesting game, but I don't know if that's what it's going to be, you know? I guess we'll see, right? I guess we'll see. I just can't wait to play as fucking Captain Boomerang. Let me tell you guys, I've waited my entire life to control Captain Boomerang in a video game, and now I'm finally going to get that opportunity, and that's just... Let me tell you. Anyway. That's my take on it, okay? Alright, let's get the shout-outs, everybody. Let's get the shout-outs. So, overnight, we had a few cheers from Golden Colts. Actually, I take that back because Cyber Shadow 248 actually subbed overnight, and I should give him a shout-out first. Okay? Then Golden Colts cheered twice. First, he said Clausen kosher dill pickles, and then he said fresh as Dijon mustard with Chardonnay. Both are very good condiments for tasty sandwiches. I don't know if he was making a sandwich last night and he decided to start cheering or whatever, but thank you, Golden Colts, for the overnight cheers. As the stream was starting up, the last Rambo did a 50-bit cheer and said, why are your reviews negative towards the Avengers? Because a lot of people criticized it. Should we overly praise Last of Us 2 because everyone liked it? No. My view is negative towards the Avengers beta because people are basically saying it's another kind of looter co-op game that's boring. And that's not good. If you're going to make a game that's finally going to tie in, and I say tie in, it's really supposedly not supposed to, but the point I've been making for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years is the MCU was the biggest thing in movies, the hottest thing. You had Captain America, Thor, right? Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, into the Avengers, then Ant-Man. You had all these spin-offs, Doctor Strange, crazy popular movies, made insane amounts of money. And we didn't see a single major video game. Were there mobile games and tie-ins like that? Of course there were. But we didn't see a single major console video game come out to tie in with any of that. At the very beginning of the MCU, there was a game that was Captain America, and there was a Thor game, and they both kind of stunk. They weren't terrible, but they both were repetitive and kind of shitty. I played both of them back in the day when I was starting out on YouTube, okay? So, my whole point has been, man, if they just came out with an Avengers game, they'd make a ton of money. Everyone's gonna fucking buy this thing. All they gotta do is put a little bit of effort in, make it a game where you play as the different Avengers, you fight the typical villains, bosses. You know, they don't even have to put a lot of effort into it. All they need to do is toss a game out there with the Avengers in it, and they're gonna make a lot of money. Okay? So finally, we're getting it. The game comes out next month. And the beta releases, and people are like, this doesn't even feel like a finished game. Like, it feels like this is a game where all you do is run around and kill generic enemies the entire fucking time. It's a looter combat game. Drop in, drop out, friends are joining you, you fight together to beat things up. The graphics are nice, apparently. But outside of that, the game's nothing special from what people who are playing the beta. That's the impressions that they're getting, is this game is meant to be a game that long-term they're going to add DLC content and characters to, but it's meant to just be a game that's there to just beat up things with your friends, and that's it. Like, it's not especially, it doesn't have a good story, it's not special or anything, it just kind of exists to button mash. And that's not good. That's not good at all. That means that it doesn't sound like they really put effort into it. They just said, fuck it, slap the characters into a game that doesn't even matter to make a buck, instead of, oh, we could have actually had some effort here with a good story. And, you know, it doesn't sound like they're doing that. Now, maybe that's just the impression the beta is giving, and maybe that's not a correct impression. Maybe that's a misrepresentation of what the game really will be. But the game comes out in a month. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not like they're going to be able to take all this feedback that they're getting on the beta now, and they're going to be able to go back and redesign the whole game. It's out in a month. So in reality, is this really a beta? No. You don't know what this is? It's a demo. It's a game demo. And as people are playing it, they're like, I'm not impressed. I don't even know if I want this game. That's not a good impression to have. See? Now, I'll be playing it next week myself. When it goes open beta, I'm going to check it out. And I'll give you my opinions live as I play it. Maybe my opinions will be drastically different from those that have been given so far from people who got into the beta early because either they got exclusive keys or they pre-ordered the game and got into it or whatever. I guess we'll find out next week. But for me, that's why I'm kind of thinking about the game the way I am. Now, by the way, that doesn't mean that when I play it, I'm going to immediately start slamming it and have a closed mind about it. I'm going to have an open mind and try to play it and enjoy it and see if I like it. And if I like it, I do. There's a lot of times you hear a lot of negative shit about a game. You play it, you're like, what are you talking about? Ghost of Tsushima was criticized by many reviewers, mainstream reviewers, as being too repetitive, boring, and too much content from other games to be original. I feel Ghost of Tsushima is one of the most original games I've played in my life, that it really gets the whole samurai vibe down well. It's perfected the open world formula, much like Witcher 3 did via RPG. This did it for an action-based game, okay? So I feel those criticisms were absolutely incorrect, and these people are just fucking stupid because they were looking for an artsy-fartsy game. And by the way, the game has artistic value in droves, just not the way that some of these idiots are looking for, okay? So, you know, I don't listen to everything everyone says and just believe it blindly, but I am going to obviously listen to at least the general consensus from the people playing this beta already, and when we play it next week, we make our own judgments. Okay? Alright. Midnight Syndicate got the tipping started today. He tipped me $2. And he says, what's your backup plan if Fall Guys gives you too many issues today? I already said, if it doesn't work, I guess we're just going to play Ghost of Tsushima. What can you do? Right? I'll just have to restart the stream. And rename it, and we're just going to do Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, I would say that sucks, but it doesn't, because I love Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm okay with playing more. It just sucks, because I know there's some people who've been following the playthrough every time I play it, and now they didn't know I was going to be playing it today, because we all assumed Fall Guys would be working by now, and maybe it's not. Okay? So, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens in a bit here. Okay? Only Iced Coffee did a 100-bit cheer. Biggest cheer of the day, he says, Oh my God, Phil, I'm sorry. I left the stream last night after my 300-bit cheer. I had to go to sleep, but I caught up with everything this morning. I want you to know that if I was there last night, I would have definitely contributed whatever was remaining to hit the tips and vest goal. See what I mean? This is exactly what I was saying earlier. I feel that was the mentality, is that people don't want to see it end. They don't want to see the vest goal end, right? They're supportive of my streams and myself. They want to see it continue. But some of these night streams, you know, not everyone is showing up to them, which is fine. I'm not asking that everyone attend every stream. I'm just saying that if you want to see the vest goal continue, you might want to just drop by. You see what I mean? Like, just drop by near the end or whatever, and see what happens. Yeah, I hit the mic by accident. I punched it. I was updating the leaderboard. I accidentally swung and punched the mic here. You know, it is what it is. So, if you are, you know, again, you want to see the vest goal continue no matter what, and you're willing to support it, I suggest dropping by the night streams and just see how they're doing. Not that you could be here every stream, and I'm not asking for that. I'm just suggesting, in the case like Only Iced Coffee, saying, man, I would have helped. I hear you. You know, but what happened, and it was pretty damn close. Okay. One Button Dash resubscribed for 24 months in a row. That is 2 years of support from One Button Dash. He's talking about Dr. Disrespect running a stream with nothing on it for 24 hours now, and he made, like, insane amounts of money. Listen, people throw money at what they want to throw money at, all right? I've given you guys my opinions on other streamers and people who play characters, and some people like that, apparently. They like play acting, and they like people who pretend to be something they're not. They like, you know, these cartoonish characters. And if that's what you like and you want to throw money at it, good on you. That's your ability to make that choice. You guys know that's not what you get here. You guys know who I am. You know what I'm all about. And thank you to those who do support what I do. I do not give two shits who's supporting Dr. Disrespect at his Champions Club. Maybe it's because people just want to be called part of a Champions Club. They want to feel like there's something bigger. I don't know. I don't care. Let him be successful where he wants to be successful. It has nothing to do with my streams. Okay? Thank you for the 2 years of support, One Button Dash. Only Iced Coffee gifted a bunch of subs here. First, he gifted a sub to One Ton Hammer, then a Snorlax, then a Disgusting Feces, and then the Perfect Picasso Part 2, and then the Trons XP. So thank you, Only Iced Coffee, for all the gifted subs. I appreciate that very much. Sambuca 2020 did a 100-bit cheer, and he says, have you seen Dr. Disrespect's music video? No, and I never will. Turtle Dude did a 95-bit cheer. He says, some people are saying the streak ended last night, and that's dumb. As long as you're live, the stream is able to continue. Right, that's what someone said last night. I was like, you know, technically that's true. Technically that's true. Because, you know, there's always potential someone could come in and contribute. As silly as that sounds, but obviously, I'm a human with a life, and I can't be on stream constantly for the stream to never end. That'd be ridiculous. We all know the criteria of how it works and everything. But, yeah, I decided to go a little later, right? And it worked out. But it's a rarity that it did, right? Fergo did a 100-bit cheer. He says, Phil, hope you and Big Jaspatron are doing well. Thank you, Fergo. We are. Angelo Bestia did a 95-bit cheer and says, I'm watching your Death Stranding playthrough now. Don't forget you're a part of me and I'm a part of you. Yes, the weird things that were said, but that was actually quite a good plot. One of my favorite plots, probably of the last decade, Death Stranding. Really interesting storyline. Gameplay not so much, but plot was good. Frenel with me so for 14 months in a row. He says, you're playing finally again. Wait, what? You're playing finally again in the FGC Fall Guy community. Get it? You're in the FGC now, the Fall Guy community. I see. All right, thank you for the sub, Frenelin. Eternal Napalm Cheer, he said, I'd be totally down for a fresh run in Nier Automata. I think it'd be great and more impactful with story beats. The soundtrack's one of the best ever. You gushed over in 2017. I remember. Become as gods. Become as gods. I remember the music. See, here's the thing, though. I certainly remember there's parts of the game that slog on. Like, I remember there's part in the desert that's kind of boring. Where you have to do, like, go around and collect items and shit. And you have to kill a million generic enemies. And I'm like... See, that's what I feel like there's parts of the game that are really good. And there's parts of the game that are just way too time-consuming and boring. So it's kind of a combination for me. And I remember there's the theme park. There's the factory. There's the desert. I remember the final fight. You're in a field of grass, right, in the city, and you're fighting this dude, this boss. I remember a lot about that first game, about the first run. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to the B side right away, or if I'm going to have to replay the A side. But we'll find out starting Monday, I guess. Okay. VG Stuff, cheers, and fuck the haters. Your filibuster last night was hilarious. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Thank you, VG Stuff. Time Seer also did a 100-bit cheer. Thank you, Time Seer. Blanca Balls to me $1.30 and says, I almost never get to watch the Street Fighter stream live because the time differences. If Fall Guys doesn't work out, would I do an early Street Fighter stream? Well, no, I wouldn't, because already I scheduled it for the late stream. And that's something that, if I played old school Street Fighter all day, I would be okay with that. Like, I would love that. But I know that wouldn't retain, like, people would get bored. I know that people would get bored and say, man, I wish you were playing something else than Street Fighter all day today. So, I would say maybe eventually I would do Street Fighter as the main gameplay stream, as an oddity, a one-off. But I wouldn't do it as a whole day thing. That'd be crazy. Imagine if I played it as the main stream today and then tonight as well. That I can't do. Excuse me. So thank you for the $1 tip, Blanca Balls. And then I got a $3 tip from Square Individual, who's shouting out Sean Ranklin, who, to my knowledge, is a troll of Wings of Redemption. And then he says Wings of Redemption was on the missing persons list in Lebanon. What the fuck are you talking about? You know, I'm sorry, but I'm not going... It's so stupid. No, I'm not going to put your name on my leaderboard. And no, you're not going to... Don't say stupid shit. I'm pretty sure you could have tipped and not been a complete stupid idiot. You know? Oh, my God. I don't know. Some people are just dumb. I don't know, man. Anyway, let's do some shout-outs. Shout-out to the top cheers of the week, guys. Thank you to those who've cheered this week so far. We start off with a tie between Heisenberg 117 and Rob on Wheels for 9th place. In 8th place, we got Timbo Slice GB. 7th place is Spartan King. 6th place, Ninstar Rune. 5th place, Mature Adult. 4th place, Dinosaur. 3rd place, Sambuca 2020. 2nd place, Shadow the Hedgehog. And 1st place this week, Only Iced Coffee. Then, thank you to those who've gifted subs this week. We've got D-Train12 and Lunaba, who each gifted 1 sub. We've got Frenolith and Big D Purple Goon, who gifted 2. Excuse me. And then in 1st place, Only Iced Coffee gifted 15 subs so far this week. Thank you, Only Iced Coffee. I appreciate that support. Rob on Wheels is here. And tip $5 says, we want gin, we want gin. Well, I hope you mean Jin Sakai and not like you're craving gin, the drink. Anyway, thank you, Rob on Wheels. Biggest tip of the day. And yeah, if Fall Guys does not work, that's what we're doing. And chances are, from all the reports I'm hearing here, Fall Guys is not going to work. Everyone keeps saying the game is just constantly going down. It's a joke at this point. That's unfortunate. It really is. The fact that it's been 4 days since the game came out and they still haven't figured out the server issues, that's not a good sign. And it tells me that basically this game is only going to work when people stop playing it. You know, when mainstream interest wanes, when people are tired of trying to play the game because it doesn't work, then people will try to play it and it won't matter anymore because no one will care. So the gaming isn't going to get nearly as much profitability and popularity as it would have if it actually worked. And that's sad. Okay? But we're going to try anyway. I'm not going to give up. We're going to give it a shot. We'll give it a good old, as they say, the good old college try. And we'll see if we can get it to work. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, what can you do? Right? All right, guys. So here's what we're going to do. Let's take a brief break. I got to use the restroom anyway. I'll be back in a few minutes. We'll try this out. We'll see if it works. If it does, great. I would love to try this game that everyone's talking about. But if it doesn't work, screw it. We'll switch over to Ghost of Tsushima and just have a fun Ghost of Tsushima stream. Okay? Okay? Alright, guys. I'll be back shortly. See you in a bit. Alright.